Hello everyone, welcome to one of the very few episodes of the Furude Shrine. It's dusty as fuck here. Someone hasn't been on cleaning duty. I'm Des, and I'm here with...
Horse Scam, hello.
Ooh,
I'm here, I guess.
so much enthusiasm.
I didn't have time to come up with anything interesting. I didn't have time to come up with an interesting joke, okay?
And I'm Pokey.
We've been over this, you need to be charismatic, Horsecam. Or you're out.
I don't know what I'm doing here. We were gonna record the book club and then it changed last minute just due to circumstances. So we're recording a Furude Shrine that I have vague understanding of what's going on.
Yeah, this is my first ever Furude Shrine, because I meant to be on the Go retrospective, but then I didn't.
Yeah, and that will be out after this episode, most likely.
See, the organization is part of the script, dear viewer. This is all...
Planned.
Yes. It's all in the plan.
Everything is released out of order.
Yeah.
It's like Haruhi. You have to watch it out of order and also watch it in order.
Yeah, this is actually the second episode we've ever recorded for the podcast.
It's an ARG.
Yeah, this was actually This is being recorded in 2021.
I hope the pandemic ends soon.
Yeah, I still cannot believe that it was the Erica smoking room where it was just punch after punch of us dating the episode. Everything from at the beginning, we talked about Mushroom hadn't recorded in a while, and then we talked about Horsefry watching Evangelion for the first time, and then I talked about a Danganronpa fan game that as though it were new.
Yeah.
And then right at the end, we threw one last in there, at the 11th hour, we said Happy New Year.
Yeah, the Go retrospective episode had to be moved in terms of dates because we recorded that before this, last week. That episode has to change dates because we were gonna release it on Go's anniversary because we talked way too much about Silent Hill F as if it hadn't come out yet. Because if we released it on the anniversary, Silent Hill F would have been out for 2 weeks.
Whatever.
So it would have been really weird.
Anyways, in this episode of the Furude Shrine, we were thinking about finally having a long-awaited discussion on Dr. Irie.
Yay!
Motherfucking idiot.
Brain surgeon himself. That's one thing I remember about his character arc, his backstory.
Mm-hmm. He's a very fascinating character.
Our local neighborhood pedophile and sex offender, Irie. Kyosuke Irie? Is that his full name?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think we're on record as saying that we hate Irie. This is an Irie hating space.
What?
I mean, I just called him a pedophile, so...
But the vast majority of members don't like him.
We will get into that.
Yeah.
I like idiot.
Yeah, I think Irie is a very, very unfortunate case of definitely had the potential to be an incredible character, but instead he's just sort of a good character who gets ruined.
I don't agree.
That's good.
I don't agree. I dearly wish I could go back in time and tell Ryukishi, please remove the dick jokes, please remove the maid outfits, please Ryukishi, we've been over this. You're 40 years old, come on. However, I do not think that ruins Irie's character. Here's my point. I'm not here to defend Irie's shenanigans. I'm not here to tell you, no, but it's just a joke, guys.
Yeah.
It's alright, Your Honor. He didn't actually touch the child. He just thought about doing it. I'm not here to defend Irie. However, the criticism people give Irie is oh, I don't like Irie because this and that, because Satoko, because Satoshi, because maid outfits. My brother in Christ, you like Higurashi. Irie is Higurashi if it was a character. He's Higurashi incarnate, and you like Higurashi, despite all of the, questionable scenes.
Yeah, Irie is Higurashi in a nutshell, essentially.
Yeah, definitely your best take, Des, is that Irie, the things that you don't like about Irie are the things you don't like about Higurashi.
Yeah.
This is my best take. Holy shit, I'm picking it up.
I mean, yeah, Des, honestly, it's really surprising how well that take. You have pretty hot takes when it comes to when they cry. But like honestly, you hit the nail on the head. Like,
Thanks.
He's the symbolization of like why Higurashi is such a hard thing to cover.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Such fascination with the character, but like a lot of stuff in it that's just makes it so hard to talk about.
I think it was on the Joey. I think it was on that episode that they described the phenomena, and I don't remember the name, but it's basically where you recommend Higurashi to someone and you completely fucking forget about the disclaimer.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that before, where I've tried to link somebody who is not familiar with visual novels, like, oh, you should read Higurashi since Onikakushi is free on Steam. They read like an hour or two into it and had to be like, yeah, this is not what I expected. And it's such a hard thing to get through.
In Onikakushi, Mion and Keiichi really come out swinging with the dick jokes.
Oh yeah, like I think it's
Oh my God.
even in the version on Steam that's censored from like the original. I think that's more censored.
With the whole situation of Higurashi is that, you know, it's not good when these things happen at all. It's not very fun for me as a reader. But it's very different when it's the children making these jokes about themselves and then the adults like sexualizing them and wanting them to wear maid clothes.
Yeah.
And those adults include both the character adults and Ryukishi writing this.
I know, like I cannot imagine. I mean, I can imagine, but like it's so weird thinking of like the target demographic of these jokes. Like, who is the motherfucking goon who's reading this? Like, Ryukishi, you are a genius. You are the best comedian ever. Please give me more child jokes, please.
I know exactly what gooners are doing that. The r/Higurashi no Nakukura ni community. I have a very bad hatred of that Reddit, that subreddit of the r/Higurashi no Nakukura ni. That after like that poll I sent out for the Family Feud episode, and that one guy responding in the most creepiest messages, which I don't even remember if that made the cut of the Jeopardy episode.
Wait, what's this?
But
What's this about?
the subreddit.
It's just a bunch of creeps.
Yeah, what? Oh, we're just talking about Higurashi subreddit in general. I thought it was like something that had happened.
Yeah, the Higurashi subreddit, specifically the r/Higurashi Nakukoro ni, which is why I don't know why it's not called r/Higurashi. I'm unfamiliar with the lore of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume that if you're watching this, you are not okay with the way that Irie treats these children with the maid outfits, and it sort of calls to mind. Oh geez, what's it called? I believe the visual novel is Tsukihime. I haven't read it myself yet, but I remember hearing the story of like it wasn't originally going to have the ecchi scenes, like, but then they were added in as a selling point.
I mean, that's what happened to Fate Stay Night, which is I
What?
believe the developer, right?
Oh yeah, that's. Oh wait, yeah, I think I might be getting those two mixed up.
Yeah,
I think it's
that's-
Fate Stay Night.
Yeah, because at Fate Stay Night, the hentai scenes in that story, even though they're cut in every other version, I've seen them. They're pretty basic. Like they literally, it feels like they put that in just so they can sell the novel instead of the story, and it's really weird.
Yeah, so it's not what I'm looking for necessarily, but like for some reason this is a trope, is for like this style of visual novel to contain these sort of lewd jokes and depictions, even though they're very uncomfortable and they do not add to the story.
I know early key visual novels have that problem too. Like it wasn't until Clan Ad that stopped having the H scenes and stuff.
Where did you read this book about how the original Higurashi did not have these scenes and that they were added as a selling point?
No, not Higurashi.
Okay.
Fate Stay Night.
Okay, that wasn't computing because Ryukishi wasn't even selling it at the start. He was just handing them away on Comic-Cat. Anyway, second interjection. I kind of have to defend these stupid ass scenes in Higurashi because it's the genre that Higurashi is building, like on top of. Higurashi is written on top of the. What's it called? Preconceptions? Is that the fucking word?
Yeah.
The expectations that you have of this specific genre that you're led to believe Higurashi is. So, like, at least in Onikakushi, I have to excuse it. Any other arc, it could have been toned down.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Tatari Garoshi, I think is like the worst. Is that one with the baseball and Irie being more of a creep? because I haven't read the beginning of Tatara Goroshi that much.
Yeah.
Because that's the one I usually skip straight through.
Because he was introduced, Irie was introduced in chapter 2.
Here's something I found out, like, reading the wiki for this episode. I know for a fact that at least the character is mentioned in Onikakushi, because apparently, in the original script, in Japanese, Irie's position at the clinic has the same name as the manager from the construction site, the one that went L5, and so that's meant to, like, confuse the reader and have you think Irie is the guy that went insane and further confuse the plot.
Yeah, that's because when Mion and Rena are keeping Keiichi in his room, being like, "Don't worry, we've called Irie to get you," and like he hasn't met Irie, and so he's just hearing like the title of this supposed murderer who's gone missing. And it's really interesting foreshadowing. It's very, very cool.
But yeah, I think it is Tatari Goroshi that's like the biggest offender, because I think that's where Irie is like, yes, I intend to marry Satoko. Also, Ryukishi be like, amazing day to draw a naked child. Yes, that is what I will do today.
Yeah, now I'm realizing I think I'm getting Watanagashi mixed up. I can't actually remember which one had Irie first appear. I'm pretty sure it's Tatari Goroshi now. Yeah. I got confused with the Go because of the scene with Shion saying that she is the team manager. Anyways, it's very sad because Tatari Goroshi is the one where Irie first becomes acquainted with Keiichi and they become, friends in
this.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't call them friends.
They bond over their care for Satoko, and it's very sad that Irie, this gag of Irie wanting to marry Satoko, is sort of misdirecting or taking away from the fact that he really does wish he could adopt her, and that's tied to his whole story and the whole background with Satoshi.
Yeah,
it's like you have a perfect dish and then someone comes in and pisses all over it, because if you strip that away from Irie's character, it's actually so sweet. The way he takes care of Satoko and Rika. Like,
I mean, I will say this, that there is one thing I do know, and Des, you might hate me for this. I think Go did Irie probably better because Irie because Irie is barely in it, but also Irie just does kind of nice things. He pays for Satoko to go to school. Like, he's the one paying for it.
He's funding that?
Yeah, he's the one paying for it.
Oh my god. Extremely common Irie W.
Yeah, he's also paying for Satoko under the guise of her helping him with his research so that, like, they can keep giving her shots. Like, he's paying her money. And part of that, I think, has to do with funding the school. Basically, Irie has this whole connection to the Hojo family that really gets explored. And I remember learning that Irie was originally supposed to be just the antagonist, or a more pure antagonist, but it was changed so that Satoko would have an ally in the story, which I think is a really good change, because can you imagine Irie just being the exact same character, but he doesn't actually care about Satoko?
Yeah, that would be awful.
No, he's a much more rich character this way, because it also contextualizes his backstory and his position regarding lobotomy in a much more, it's not caring way, like the opposite of antagonistic.
Protagonistic, not a word.
I don't,
or is it?
I mean, you get it. Like, on today's times, we do, like, lobotomy is bad. Lobotomy isn't, it doesn't work, guys. Sorry, it does not. But, like, Irie's, position regarding it is one of, okay, I've done this once and it kind of worked, and I believe this is, like, a cure, so let me fucking do it. Like, it's coming from a good place. If he was just straight up antagonistic, it would be like, oh yes, evil doctor number 3031.
Yeah, Matsuri Bayashi goes into detail about this lobotomy background of Irie's, and it's very interesting to learn his story about how he was, a first generation college student. He wanted to go to medical stool, not medical poops. He wanted to go take a shit in the doctor's toilet.
It's the septic tank.
So he and he lived separately from his parents who really cared about him, and then suddenly while he was away, his father, a construction worker, hurt his head, and because of that he spiraled into like emotional and mental unsoundness, and it caused real destruction within his family. And so he before then he was just trying to become a doctor because he wanted to be looked up to, because, you know, being a doctor is a respectable, well-paying job. But then he suddenly becomes almost like twisted but in a kind way. Like he's doing everything he can out of regret. Like, oh, if only my father could have been saved. Maybe this lobotomy thing could have saved him. And at the time, lobotomies were looked down on. He talks about giving lobotomies without consent, which, wow,
Yes.
that
Awesome.
is not good. And, you know, that combined with the fact that he's working with the antagonists of Higurashi could be moral, like, grayness enough. You don't have to add in this pedophilic joke, which I don't think is, like, meant to be one of the things we hate about him. I think it's supposed to be, wow, how quirky. Very funny.
I know. That's what pisses me off. Ryukishi thought he was writing such a funny scene.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
Yeah, I don't like that he uses a lot of pedophilia for jokes. I'm glad they kind of stopped with Umineko a little bit, even though it's not fully gone, but it's at least... But, like, it's mostly prevalent in Higurashi. And it's like... I think his backstory is very interesting, even if it comes weirdly late. I mean, he does...
Yeah.
I do like that it's a bit... His death in most of the fragments are pretty sad. He gets he gets overdosed on sleeping pills, because they kill him before Watanabe, before the time, right? Or they kill him after?
No, he kills him. He kills himself.
He survives Watanagashi, and then before the plan can be carried out and the whole town can be wiped out,
Oh, yeah.
in at least one of the fragments he commits suicide, or is implied to.
Oh, okay.
It's because the reason they contracted him is because Japan and misogyny, and they were like, no, we do not want Takano to be the head of this clinic. So they contracted Irie because he's already a morally gray doctor. So he was the perfect man for the job. And then he's supposed to be the scapegoat. Whenever they activate Emergency Manual 34, he's supposed to take the blame. So when it does get activated, he just commits suicide.
Rip.
I think it also has to do with his morality being shaken. And I feel like it's less that he's worried about taking the blame, and more he's like, I don't want to live through this tragedy, because he feels so responsible. And I think part of that has to do with his morality being shaken by the Hojo family, or his immorality being shaken by the Hojo family, where suddenly he's... Sorry, I just got entirely distracted by the fact that the status of this chat was renamed to Irie Hate Support Group episode.
Wait, what? Oh my fucking...
Horse scam. You prankster.
I'm sure Horsecam was like biting his nail, being like, oh my god, when are they gonna notice?
I was expecting you guys not to notice. I genuinely was like, oh, I thought you were going to see it at the end.
Interacting with Satoshi and Satoko really helps Irie, because he's willing to do anything for this research, and, you know, he feels bad about finding these performing quote-unquote autopsies on these live specimen who are about to die. He still does it, but when the time comes for Satoshi to become a source of research, Irie can't do it, and it's revealed at the end of Matsurubayashi that Satoshi is still alive, and he might recover yet. And that provides an avenue for Shion going further. I feel like that might be a tiny bit of a retcon, is Satoshi didn't die, but honestly, there's no evidence for or against up to that point, I think.
I mean, yeah, he's mostly just disappeared. They don't really confirm his death at all.
Yeah.
Because he's been missing, because I think the idea was like somebody... Takano was like trying to get research by making somebody disappear and somebody getting murdered, and since they found Satoshi just murdering his aunt, they just used, we can just use Satoshi as our disappeared. Can we have our murder victim? Let's just go disappear them.
Yeah, that scene where Satoshi is going L5 is such a good scene, with Irie picking up Satoshi off the car. He just like bought this present for Satoko, and I think it's been either a day or a couple days since Watanagashi when he murdered his aunt. And like they're driving around, and Satoshi is saying that he sees his aunt's face everywhere and confessing to Irie, and Irie is like, hold on, child, you're gonna be okay. And he's such an emotional character. And part of the reason why I have so much regret for the way he's written is that he was already a good, well-balanced character. He was a serious part of the threat, and he could be serious when he needed to be, but he was also kind and lighthearted, and he had good, what's the word? Bedside manner?
Yeah.
I think that's it. How a doctor interacts with their patients.
Yeah. He's really good at talking to his patients and making them feel comfortable.
I mean, when Keiichi had to go to the infirmary, he did say, what silky smooth, Keiichi. Let me touch it a bit more.
Oh my goodness.
Most normal reaction ever.
Yeah, but his bond with Keiichi and Tatari Garoshi really sticks with me as well. Because, well, it's basically a repeat to what happened with Satoshi, where both of them killed for Satoko's sake. And so Irie is sitting here being like, I can't condone your actions, Keiichi, but thank you. Thank you for caring so much about Satoko and, trying to remove Teppei from her life. Because he sees like someone else who cares a lot about this child, who has basically no allies at this point except for the club and Irie.
Isn't there a point where when Irie finds out, he turns to Keiichi and he's like, holy shit, I mean, I would have done it as well, but thanks for doing it for me.
he basically says he'd do anything for Satoko. And I think that shows when what he really wants is to complete this research and advance the medical field, but he's willing to sacrifice that for Satoko and her friend's sakes. And it's really sad when like Keiichi feels that Irie has betrayed him and then curses the whole village. Because you could tell that Irie is torn between his... even back reading it blind, if you don't know about Hinamizawa syndrome, you're just hearing Irie talk about how Keiichi is, like, showing symptoms right after the scene where he told Keiichi he'd stand with him and he believed him. And just this feeling of betrayal from a character that's been so kind. It's really sad. I don't know, it's just such a good moment, and I feel like it shows the extent of Irie's character.
Irie is, as you guys have said, like, Irie has probably the best potential of, like, the villain group. I mean, there's Tomoitake, but Tomoitake, he's a very similar character, but without the pedophilia. In terms of like who he is, but like
I don't think so. Tomoitake is butt as a board. Like that character has zero depth.
That's why I don't really think about Tomoitake other than like he's scripted to die. I think that's probably what most of his character was before like the answer arcs was like, oh, he's just a guy who shows up, scares Keiichi and the other characters and just dies. But Irie,
like he's a good foil for Takano, but
yeah, I think Irie works a little bit like being a good parental adult figure for a lot of some of the character cast like Satoko and Keiichi. Just I wish that he wasn't so weird to Satoko, weird about Satoko. I mean, I think this is getting into console arc stuff, but like he does do a lot for Satoko. Like he's the one that applies Satoko's like medicine because he does do stuff with Satoko because she has some elements of heightened states of Hinamizawa syndrome, so she has to do regular checkups with Irie.
Yeah, she's the first person in their research to have gone L5 and survived after she killed their parents.
Absolute legend.
Absolute legend.
Yeah, this is why Satoko is most susceptible to being L5. But also, like, because she could have survived because he was 5 L5 because she was so young, as opposed to being a bit older, so she wouldn't be as aggressive.
It's possible.
I mean,
I think it comes.
She did kill 2 adults.
I mean, okay,
yeah.
So I don't think
Sushi. I can't remember the exact name of the arc. Does kind of recontextualize what Satoko was doing, maybe, and like there's theories that Satoko didn't do it maliciously or something. It wasn't like a malicious thing. It was like, oh, she was just going up to hug.
Yeah, she thought she was gonna die.
Where she
She thought she was going to be killed by her parents. And then it's mentioned briefly in the final chapter, Matsuri Bayashi, that they're worried that she might do the same thing to their aunts because she's the one who's being so violent towards Sadako.
Well, anyway, one thing we haven't talked about Irie yet is his design, which I think it's amazing. I love the black suit, not black, like dark brown suit under the coat, and then especially the original sprites, like with the sleeves rolled up and then the round glasses. I don't know why the PS3 like got rid of the round glasses and gave him like rectangular ones. I think the original sprite is 10 out of 10. I
wonder why he's so shiny. I feel like maybe it's just me, just like to every other character, compared to every other character, his hair looks the most like a helmet.
I think it's because that little white spot on his sprite, like he has a weird bright white spot in his hair that just kind of doesn't really fit with the shading.
It's okay. He's a great looking character though. I love his design.
It's because he's a bright scientist.
I don't like this sprite.
He looks more lanky.
Oh my god, he's so ugly.
Yeah.
He looks so lanky in his PS3 design. It looks...
He's ugly as fuck on PS3.
It looks like...
Bro has no game.
Yeah. he has no style, he has no grace. This doctor has a funny face.
What have they done to you, idiot?
Yeah, whereas the original sprites are very friendly.
I know.
His Steam sprite is a bit better on that, but it's like I hate the Steam sprite so much.
Honestly, one of the best pachinko sprites I've seen.
It looks like those mobile game art, kind of like you could put them in one of those like mobile visual novel like dating sims, and it'll probably work just fine. And that's how I would describe his sprite.
It's able to get across. The Steam sprites are able to get across his friendliness better.
The Steam sprites?
The one that was created most recently that's at the bottom.
Yeah, because they're not called pachinko sprites for
yes.
Higurashi.
Yeah, because they aren't from a pachinko machine.
Yeah, they're from Manga Gamer. Manga Gamer was the one that made them.
Gotcha.
God, I hate Manga Gamer.
Which makes me really worried for Rose Guns Days when that comes out, if they get new art.
Okay. Since we are on Higurashi, can I go off on Manga Gamer?
Go for it.
These motherfuckers not only did they contract the worst fucking designer for the sprites. I don't know which one came first. I don't know if it was Umineko or Higurashi, but how can you commit the same horrible mistake twice? Secondly, the translation of Higurashi. Holy shit, these guys were like prophecy of the future. They were Toby Fox before Toby Fox was cool. They like translated episode 1 and 2, and then episode 3 came out a little bit later, then episode 4 came out hella later, and like by the time they released Matsuri Bayashi, like I've been saying episode, I mean chapter, by the time they released chapter 8, it had been like a year or two since chapter 7. What are they doing? These motherfuckers are playing around. I do not like Manga Gamer. Not to mention, they refuse to translate Rose Guns Days.
Well,
that's the worst offension they could have done.
I mean, they said they are, but they haven't released it. It took 5 years. It took 5 years for the entirety of the main chapters to be released, not including the extra chapters like Ray and the How exclusive chapters. Or Ho, is it what it's called? Is it Ho? I keep calling it How because I don't like calling it Ho.
I don't know.
But
it is a curse that the translation group in charge of When They Cry is a hentai translation group, because they obviously prioritize like their own gooning games for like basement dwellers, and they just don't care about When They Cry because it's much softer.
Yeah, like
I wish we had a different translation team on this.
Manga Gamer, I think, did better with Umineko's release, at least doing the question arcs first and then waiting like a year and a half to do the answer arcs. It was still long in between, but like at least it was a better release schedule than Higurashi's.
Higurashi was abysmal.
Yeah, I guess it shows the way that when Higurashi is inextricably tied to the ecchi genre, even though it's very much not. It's a very, because the way you come into Higurashi if you have no expectations is obviously there's the unsettling scene at the start of Onikakushi with Keiichi's inner thoughts. But it really, you could look at an out of context screenshot and think that this is just slice of life, maybe even romance, some sort of harem maybe. But actually it's a horror story, but actually it's a really emotional story about mental health and relationships between people.
Yeah.
I can imagine them being like, no briefing. Alright, here's another visual novel for you to translate. Alright, chill. Alright, rolling up my sleeves, let's do this. So okay, this character, Ren, she's talking about pickles. Alright, then they're going to school. Haha, funny penis joke. Amazing neon. What's this? Satoshi? Oh, anyway, let's keep translating. Oh, Usada? Wise? Okay, oh, what? A bat? A baseball bat? Oh god, what are they doing? Oh god, oh fuck, what am I doing? What is this story?
Yeah, I wish Manga Gamer didn't release didn't have to redo the art for the whole thing. Like, I understand maybe the original sprites are not great, but they could have just, I don't know, got the license to do the console art at least.
Yeah, while we're on the subject, I have talked about this, I think, off recording, where I downloaded 07th mod and then I've had mod regrets. Luckily, I was able to go into mod settings and rearrange some things to be more custom, but looking at the new sprites, and I was sort of filled regret. I kind of wish I had the original sprites, the Ryukiji originals. And luckily, I was able to make it so that I could have the original sprites, maybe the original backgrounds if I want, and have voice acting and have the new CG, or not the new CGs, the PlayStation CGs, and just not have to look at the Steam sprites at all.
No, they're really bad. They're not Uminekos have a sort of charm to them because they're bad, but there's no
depends on which sprite you're looking at.
Yeah.
Anyway, to get back on topic about Irie, I think that we've established that Irie is his obsession with the maid outfits going onto children is the worst aspect of his character and ruins what could have been a really brilliant, kind / sinister character where there's serious moral gray implications going on, but he turns out to be a good person in the end. Where I wrote an essay on Higurashi, and when it came to the weakest element, I pretty much boiled it down to the sexualization of minors in general, but also Irie is as an example of, as you said, Des, he is Higurashi incarnate.
Mr. Higurashi.
Yeah, Mr. Dr. Higurashi, excuse you. Dr. Higurashi, he's a brilliant, in-depth character. His backstory kind of comes out of nowhere, but the most important aspect of his story is his interaction with Satoshi and Satoko, and that's established throughout the entire series. But then they just throw in these jokes that sort of ruin him, and at the expense of a good character, we got these jokes that I'm pretty sure the vast majority of audiences do not enjoy. That's conjecture, but I know I do not enjoy.
I am yet to meet a When They Cry fan that's I wish there were more of these jokes.
Yeah. I wish we got to see them in their swimsuits more often.
I mean, apparently it's enough because there's two extra arcs that are just about that. Where they're we have to do a full 3-hour arc where nothing happens, but they get to go in their swimsuits.
All right, headcanon time. Is Irie actually a pedophile? As in, does he have sexual attraction to these children?
All right, here we go. The show is yours, Pokey. Go off.
I feel like it's gotta be a joke. I feel like it's a poor attempt at humor on both Ryukishi and Irie's part, where he thinks this will make him more relatable and funny to the kids if he just throws in this off-kilter joke about him wanting to marry Sadako, and then we as the audience are dude, chill out, stay back. And it's kind of a dangerous trail of thinking, but I get this way about George sometimes. I mentioned without getting into Umineko spoilers, I was just what if this character that's kind of problematic was actually just not interested in women at all? So that got me down the rabbit hole of gay or asexual Irie.
This is the most copium I have ever seen you inhale, Pokey.
It is. But honestly, the more I thought about it, the more I was if Irie just isn't attracted to women... Hold on, What is Irie's color palette?
Horsecam just asked this for a minute.
Hold on.
He's talking about
yeah,
something about Irie's color palette.
I was doing this because you were talking. You didn't have to stop.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Everybody stop the show. I gotta talk about Irie's color palette.
When you said wait a minute, I thought you were stepping away again. literally just in the middle of my thought. I have no idea what I was saying. Oh yeah, same as George color palette, but reverse.
What?
The more I thought about
What you mean?
Irie not being straight, the more I realized that it would kind of not explain, but I just add to this plot line where it's sort of understated, but if you ignore the idea that he wants to marry Sadako and just say, no, he just wants to adopt her and be a father figure to her, which he kind of is the closest thing she has to a father figure.
Those are two very distinct concepts. Wait a minute.
They are, but like, I like to think that he's joking. Okay, but the thing is that if Irie cannot adopt Sadako, he says that because he doesn't have a wife, he's like, there are certain laws against it. You can't have the single man marrying Sadako. And I'm like, what
you mean adopting?
What did I say?
You mean adopting?
Did I say adapting or something?
You said marry. You said marry.
Did I?
Yes.
Wow. What the heck am I talking about?
It's fine. It's just because it was gonna be on record.
Where was I? Yeah, he wants to marry Sadako, but he can't because he doesn't have a wife.
Yeah,
but like, I don't know. I just like to think that there's more going on with that storyline of like him being like a gay man and being like, yeah, that just sort of further distances me from my research if I try to think too hard about the fact that I'm attracted to women. So let me just overcompensate and be really, really attracted to women real quick.
Like, I appreciate the desperate attempt at justifying liking Irie.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Like, it's like a... Let's just mask this trail of Japanese writer shenanigans with, oh no, it's fine. They don't actually like women. It's fine, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I get the appeal of trying to, like...
It is a problematic train of thought, though, because that falls into the rabbit hole of people who think that, like, you know, gay people are pedophiles, or or queer people are pedophiles, just in general.
Yeah. Disclaimer: we are not ANCAP.
What is ANCAP?
That's such a 2020 term, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like I have not heard that term in like
Holy
years.
shit.
Like, did you
Holy
just
shit.
your
This is what talking about Higurashi does to me.
you go back to your go? Did you go back into your go mindset?
This is the Higurashi withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah.
I will say, I brought this up in the chat, but like I did notice George's color palette is just a reverse of Irie's. It quite almost literally is. Like, if you look at it, because he has a yellow jacket and a white tie.
Dude, it's green.
Irie's is a yellow tie with a white jacket. He has brown
Wow.
hair with a black vest. George has black hair with a brown vest. And then they both have black shirts.
It is green.
It's not green, that is yellow.
Am I daltonic? Am I colorblind?
That is like a mustard yellowish.
It's sort of lime.
What? Is American mustard green?
I'd describe it as lime.
Like, I always thought it was yellow.
Anyways, the point is, part of me that wants to like Irie just wants to like substitute in like, let's just shove all the problematic stuff into the closet real quick and pull out like a queer interpretation just so that he's more fun.
You could be Ace. I mean, to be over-cooperating. I mean, you could be one of those people, like, I focus on my work too much to, like, have romantic feelings or something.
George has such an aura in this image.
I don't know why. Like, I don't know if it's my computer, but, like, that image is, like, very clipped in the lighting. I don't...
Yeah. It definitely looks yellowish green.
Yeah. I call it more yellow than green.
What the no.
That
is the greenest green I've ever seen, guys.
green.
I wouldn't say.
I wouldn't
Okay,
call...
well, now we've got an alignment chart going on of like yellowish green to greenish green to greenish yellow.
Okay, now I gotta ask people.
Yo, where are you on the green spectrum?
Yeah.
Guys, take yourselves. I'm the true green.
It's yellow.
Dude, how the fuck is that yellow?
I mean, it looks literally just like right in between. Maybe slightly more green.
Anyways, we can move on.
What color is George's jacket? This is the dress all over again.
Oh my god, I feel like I'm going L5.
Alright,
You
guys.
guys are calling it yellow. My girlfririend just pulled up and she's calling it yellow.
Comment down below what color is George's jacket in this Higurashi episode where we're talking about Irie.
What the fuck? Okay. I'm sorry.
Lurf, what the fuck are you saying? Chartreuse?
I'm sorry. I have to interject. What the fuck? Horsecam asked the very humble question: what color is George's jacket? Lurf waltzing in. Chartreuse. What the fuck is a chartreuse?
Wait, it literally is
I
chartreuse.
can buy yellow.
And that is chartreuse, oh my god.
I can buy yellow.
That is chartreuse, I'm gonna say that. Des, I think you're wrong. You like walked in here and said the wrong thing.
I mean, that's the chartreuse I sent is sort of more mustard.
No, that is piss yellow. That is hematuria yellow.
If your piss looks like this,
Yeah, Des, I think you need to drink water if your piss is that color. Like, that's since you're dehydrated.
That is hematuria. You have blood in your kidneys. Go to the doctor. This is a PSA.
you go to Dr. Irie. He'll take a look.
Dr. Higurashi. That's where you go.
Yeah, like,
Dr. Higurashi.
I was talking about Irie and other media. Like, I think I talked about Go briefly. Irie is barely in Go. Like, he's in, like, having just seen it and read through the manga, I think he's in, like, 2 scenes. Well, also, I think some characters probably just don't appear in Go because voice actor stuff. Like, Akasaka barely is appearing because I don't know if they could get Daisuke Ono for, like, a scene. They only got him for 1 scene.
Yeah, that actually makes sense.
But that means no battler.
I think it's so funny though that I like imagining that Irie's voice actor looked at the script and was like, no. I can do maid jokes. Higurashi Go is where I draw the line.
Irie's voice actor has standards. He will make those pedophilic, uncomfortable jokes, but he will not participate in Go Satsu.
I mean, is his voice actor in Umineko like most of the Higurashi voice actors?
Irie? No.
Yeah.
No.
Also, where is Irie in the grand interconnected When They Cry? I don't want to get too deeply into Umineko and Ciconia spoilers because we haven't really talked about it. But like Okanogi and Tomitake and Tojiro, it's like they're like holding all of the they have a monopoly on this, and they're like,
When They Cry Triforce.
yeah, where does the other adults come in? We need Ciconia Irie to come and redeem him now.
Oh my god, yes, please.
I think he was probably gonna appear in Phase 2, but didn't. But because Phase 2 doesn't exist.
Yeah, that makes sense. That actually makes sense because of spoilers.
Yeah.
If Irie shows up in Ciconia, I want his color scheme to be chartreuse green.
He's like a combination of George and Irie.
Yeah, like
My name is Dr. George Irie Higurashi.
Higumeku.
Sad he doesn't even.
George Sake.
Maybe they'll make when Manga Gamer finally releases Rose Stays English. They'll like put him in there as an extra sprite.
I want Leo in Ciconia.
Okay, I think that'll wrap up this episode, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's good.
Short episode.
Oh yeah, speaking of closing the episode, I cannot have the episode closed without this thing, because early in the episode we talked about my take and how well articulated it was. Thank you. I made this exact same take 5 years ago, and it was just adding oil to the flame. Is that the expression?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna post it. Like, Mushroom likes to joke about how half the fandom has me blocked because of my shenanigans during Go times. I literally was unable to speak my mind without attacking someone. I don't know what the fuck was up with me. It was Go derangement syndrome. That's what it was.
Yeah, you were really passionate about your Go feelings.
I know. Anyway, here's the image.
I mean, you hated Go so much that you chose to not be a part of the Go episode, which was probably, I mean, it made the Go episode slightly less entertaining without you screaming about how Go was bad.
I no longer have the energy to scream about how Go is bad, so that wouldn't happen. I am so sick and tired of the show. That was the real reason why I didn't participate. I just have zero interest in talking about it.
Yeah, and I never finished watching it.
Anyway, the image I posted, I think that's where the idea to make an Irie smoking room, Furude Shrine came from.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, did we ever do that George episode, by the way? That George hate
That's
episode?
next.
Oh, great, cool.
That's
We
next.
have to do the Umineko most hated character next. Well, yeah, I would say Irie is the most hated Higurashi character in this group. On the podcast.
You forget Teppei.
I mean, Teppei's supposed to be hated, so that's the difference.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
How does that invalidate it? The criteria is Higurashi's most hated character.
It's like, oh, well, we made a villain that you're supposed to freaking hate the crap out of.
And you do. That is why it is Higurashi's most hated character.
Irie is made to be like, oh, a likable character. Teppei is not that unless it's fucking Go. Go does that. Well, technically that's Sotsu.
That's not the criteria you gave me. You said Higurashi's most hated character.
Well, yeah. But Teppei is very well written as far as a character that you're meant to hate.
Yeah.
But Irie is poorly written as a character that you're supposed to like but acknowledge is flawed. And then it just like gets thrown out the window by being a complete shit show as far as writing.
Just like George. Go figure.
Yeah.
That makes me think, if we during the next Umineko, the most hated Umineko character, what's the most hated Ciconia character? We could do an episode.
I was wondering the same thing. I don't think we're far enough along in Ciconia to have like a judgment on which character is poorly written because we don't understand their
Would it
motivations.
be Jaden? Like, Jaden's a similar character
Yes.
archetype, I guess.
Yes.
But I like
Yes,
Jaden,
yes.
no.
No, but Jaden
Wait,
is...
Jaden is the Irie redemption arc.
Yeah, no. What?
Jaden is Ciconia's version of Irie.
Technically, we should probably
we're gonna
cut
learn
No,
like he
you-
has like Irie
Dude,
blood.
you are so wrong.
He like it goes up to his father. Hello, Dr. Higurashi. Oh no, that's my dad.
Yeah, what?
Just call him Irie.
Okay, earlier we were talking about like the holy triad of When They Cry, where you have a thorough line through all the Okonogis, all the Takanos, and all the Tomitakes. Dude, we also have Irie, Mr. Dr. Higurashi. It's just a lot more subtle. Because you after Irie, on the line of succession, you have George. And then obviously you have
You can't
Jaden
say that!
on the other side. Like, that is the through line. It exists. It exists, and it will hurt you.
Jaden is not anywhere close to these two characters. He's actually a fun character. He actually does have
Dude,
introspection.
do you read?
Also, Jaden is not an adult.
Holy shit, no.
Jaden is the
Okay.
youngest of them.
Okay.
I don't remember how old Jaden is. Like, he's like 15?
No. Okay, listen to me.
Definitely less than 18.
It's a character you're supposed to be like soy jacking at. You're supposed to be like, holy shit, Jaden is so cool. Oh, look at him being a white knight. He's so good to meow. Holy shit. This is how Ryukishi expects you to read it. And then you actually sit down and read the character, and he's just like, oh yes, I'm gunning. Oh my god. I am the most basement-dwelling
child!
anime fan possible.
Horsecam and I are not going to take this Jaden slander, and we are going to take this to a new smoking room all about Jaden, where we can just fight you on this.
Yeah, we're gonna do a full Jaden.
Yeah, forget the George
we
one.
would have a.
This is gonna be a three-parter.
We have a George hate support group episode coming up. Now there's gonna be a Jaden love support group because there is no way Jaden is
Oh my god.
at level with those characters. I mean, he's close.
Okay, if we are gonna do this, I need someone with an actual reading comprehension
What the
ability to be on my side, because
What
Whoa.
the? We're not done with the Ciconia data log.
Whoa!
Worf used to be on the list, but then Worf came out as a George liker. So
What?
There's so much
gonna
background
be like-
information going on where.
You're gonna be like.
Okay, I think Des, you're going off the rails, and I thought you said this was supposed to be like 30 to 45 minutes.
We're an hour in. Like, I have to leave in like an hour. But like, we should probably wrap up. We're moving on to Jaden
okay, let's
stuff.
close this.
Let's close the episode before we get on another Jaden tangent.
Before I expose anybody else as a George fan.
And a Jaden hater.
Give up our links and tell people to subscribe.
Okay, subscribe.
Also, join the Discord.
Do it.
Chat there. There's people there. It's funny.
Yes.
Well, we should have probably, if we knew we were gonna do a Irie episode, we could have posted a topic thing on it.
We
yesterday.
are so on top of our shit.
I didn't think to do it until like an hour ago, but I'll
Yeah.
do that next time for the George and Jaden.
Yeah, we'll do that for the George. George, and like how many people love.
No, do it now and we'll just pretend we haven't recorded yet.
But we're not gonna talk about it. I talked about the Go stuff during the Go episode. Unless you want to talk about it later.
Guys, I think we just need to close the episode. Irie has infected our brains. He's done a lobotomy on us
Oh, I just learned that
without our consent.
Des just hates Jaden so much.
He's lobotomized the part of your brain that should love Jaden and appreciate him.
Bye everyone. Enjoy the episode. Enjoy it.
I hope you enjoy
Look
it.
out for more more stuff from us and subscribe.
Bye.
Alright, bye. Alright, what the fucking episode.